As it's me, it's Queen Osset Haru, and I'm coming to you today with another exciting edition of Ask An Aquarius. Okay, so there is a red subscribe button. Please hit it if you haven't already, and smack the bell, and pass on one of my videos if you think you know someone who would benefit from it. Okay, so I noticed the other day also that we had a lot of new subscribers. We are up to almost, I think it's 1,400, and we just hit 1,000 not too long ago. So welcome everybody. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing. And hopefully something I've said has helped you, because that's all I'm here for in the first place. Okay, so let's talk about deja vu today. Deja vu is called, it basically is a French word, and it translates to already seen. So it's something you've already seen. And I've experienced deja vu in two different ways that I'll tell you guys about. The first way I've experienced deja vu is going someplace for the first time and recognizing the place. I mean, like knowing where the elevator is, knowing where the bathroom is, you know, knowing that so-and-so is down the hall, knowing that this door should be red, like knowing things about the place as if you've been there and spent time there before and you've never been there before. And I've had that happen to me many times. Usually that form of deja vu happens if you've actually been to the place, such as if you've been there as a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old and you really don't have a conscious memory of it, but your subconscious does remember. So you may think you've never been there before because you don't remember this place, but you have. Maybe your mom took you there in your stroller, you know, something along those lines. Another form of it is you've been there in a past life. So you've never been there in this life, literally. But for some reason, something happened there that was so intense or so special or so moving or so traumatic that you never forgot this place. Now, people have cited both of these over the years, over the centuries. You know, some people can literally tell you everything about a place and have literally never been there before. So in those cases, we do truly believe that they've been there in the past life. So maybe it's where they died. Maybe it's where they gave birth. Maybe it's where they met their true love. You know, so it's a number of things, a number of reasons that can happen. But it's just an impression that was burned so strongly on your soul that you don't forget it. People have experienced this in many different ways. I experienced this when I went to Africa. I had never been to Africa before. And when the plane landed, I burst into tears. The first thought that went through my spirit was, I'm home. And when I got off the plane, I was expecting it to be like when I go anywhere for the first time and I get off the plane, I'm looking, I'm trying to see all the sights, I'm trying to see what's going on. But when I got off in Accra in Ghana, it was like I had seen it before. Like I recognized the scenery, you know? And it wasn't strong as if, you know, like I felt like, oh my God, I died right there or something like that. But it was just like, I've seen this landscape before. It was that kind of feeling. And when the plane landed, I cried so hard. It's like it landed and the tears just came out. I didn't even have a conscious thought. They just started coming up. And then I was crying, getting off the plane. And then I came through the airport and these little kids were out there. And the little kids stand outside and greet people that are coming. So they'll give them some change or something like that. You know, they may give you like a seashell or they give you something like a rock or something like that. And one of the little kids looked at me and said, "Welcome home." I was already crying. He didn't have to take me there. You know, I'm Aquarius. Why would you do that to me? Why would you do that to me? I cried all the way to the hotel. We went to the university. I cried almost all the way to the university. I think I pulled myself together by the time we got out the truck. So those kind of feelings, sometimes it's not like just, you know, strong, overpowering kind of thing. It's just like, this looks really familiar to me. I've seen this before, you know. And I know I've never been to Africa. You know, my family has never traveled there before. So I knew exactly what I was saying. So sometimes deja vu will happen when you're awake, such as that case. And sometimes deja vu happens in another way. Sometimes you have a dream about something, and then the next day the dream happens, or the next week the dream happens, or something like that. This form of deja vu is often referred to as prophecy, because you've prophesied something that then happens exactly the way you saw it, and you had no hand in making it be that way, you know. And I only experienced that one time, and it was so eerie. I was a young girl. I was just starting to do meditation and trying to open up my third eye and learning about spirituality. I had just came from Africa. I was visiting a friend in San Diego, and I was in the bed sleeping, and I had a dream that he came to the door, and he said, he knocked on the door, and I said, "Who is it?" And he said, "Room service." And I was like, "What?" And looked out the peephole, and it was him. So, not a big deal. Not even a very symbolic dream. I woke up because somebody was knocking on the door. And I went to the door, and I said, "Who is it?" And he said, "Room service." And I looked out the peephole, and it was the same friend. So sometimes deja vu happens like that. And that was eerie. That was so eerie to me. But most people that cite deja vu talk about going to a building or to a country or to a neighborhood or to any kind of place, you know, a zoo, any kind of place, really a boat, you know, just going to a place and feeling a strong sense that they've been there before, maybe, and they usually recognize stuff. I talked about this earlier. They usually recognize things, like they know how to get to certain places that they normally would not know how to get to. Like, how do you know that the bathroom is on the third floor, to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, and behind the broom closet? Like, how do you know that, you know? And you've never been here before, you know. It's usually a case like that, or they know something that happened at the property that they have no way of knowing. Like, yeah, and they're looking around, they're like, "Didn't somebody get shot right there?" And you're like, you know, like, how do you, and the security guard is like, "Yeah, somebody did get shot right there." You know, it's that kind of thing. Like, you remember seeing things, events, or just the place itself. So that's deja vu. And in most cases, it is believed that it is from a past life. Most of the sources that I read said that they thought it was from a past life. Of course, the psychologists cited the times when it happens in this life as times that you've forgotten because you were so young, or you were so out of it, or you weren't paying attention. Let's say that you were someplace, you know, high, you know, and you know, you really wasn't in it. You was drunk, or you were high, and then you go back there and be like, "Oh, I think I've been here before." You know, it's just because your brain was fuzzy the time that you were there. But most people, most experts say that it was from a past life. So if you are experiencing deja vu frequently, it's a good thing, because it means two things. Number one, it means that your third eye is peaking, is opening, is doing its thing, because that's one of the times when that happens. Like, your third eye is starting to strengthen. And that's one thing it means. And another thing it means is that you may be having memories from your past life. And past life memories can help you in the present tense, because if something happened, something traumatic happened, or something went on, sometimes it's a good time for us in the present tense to heal the karma from what happened. Maybe we did something we aren't proud of. So in the present tense, maybe to do something of the reverse to turn that karma around, you know, or learn from a lesson of something that you experienced in your past life. So I've had a past life. I did a couple past life things in the past. I did like a past life reading, and I've had like a past life meditation. And I learned from those past life, you know, episodes, some of the things I do now, or I used to do. I learned, like, oh, that's why I do that. Oh, I got to stop that. You know, it's like something that has gone forward. Like, I tell you, in many of my past lives, I've been with the same person, and I've always killed this person. I hate to admit that, but in all my past lives, I've killed this person. I poisoned them the first time. The next time I stabbed him. Another time, I was a woman, or he was a woman, I was a man. I pushed him in the river. So it's been different times. I got arrested for it a few times. Other time, I didn't get caught. The first time I did it, the elders knew I did it or thought that I did it. They knew, basically, and just let me kind of get away with it because they knew that he was unfaithful to me and it was a abusive relationship. So, like, I've seen, you know, that particular pattern, and I realized that I have a tendency to get with this kind of person, you know, this kind of messed up person. And so after having that past life incident, it was like, oh, okay, these are the kind of people that I draw to me, and I have to heal that. I have to heal that karma. So I didn't kill anybody in this life. So I broke the curse, you know. So it was rough there. A couple times my temper almost got me in mad trouble. So yeah, so it's something I've been able to overcome. So sometimes you look at your past life and you see something that's a problem in your current life, and it helps you to be able to get past it. And for me, it wasn't the killing part. The part of getting past was the kind of person. The kind of person that I was drawing to me was a person who was abusive, who was negative, who was nasty. And I did draw one of those. Y'all all know I drew one of those in this life, but I didn't kill him. So I'm improving, guys. I wanted to, but I did, okay? So I'm improving. I'm getting control over my temper as the centuries go on. So that's the deal with past lives. That's the deal with past lives as they pertain to deja vu. So if you're experiencing it, it's actually a pretty good thing. Learn from it. Deuces.